Could you imagine being one of the richest people on the planet, getting divorced and splitting your money in half and still be one of the richest people in the world? That's Jeff Bezos right there. But of course, he didn't get there magically. There's a whole story about struggle, hard work, and good financial decisions that got him on top. So get ready, because today we're going to talk about Jeff Bezos' top 10 pieces of financial advice.
Superfinances.
Number 1. Stick to your investment philosophy. Like many other successful businessmen and investors, Jeff Bezos advises people to stick to their investment philosophy. The reason behind this is that every investor is a different type of person, and following a mixed mantra does not always work out for the best. So it's important to understand your strengths and weaknesses and put them to the best possible use in the field. It's always better to know that if you suffered a loss, it was your own mistake rather than something that you impulsively did because someone else told you to. Believe in yourself, stick to your investment philosophy, and if it doesn't work, make the necessary adjustments to be where you want it to be. Number 2. Make your important decisions before the afternoon. Jeff Bezos once told Italian fashion designer Brunello Cucinelli that he makes all of his important decisions around 10:30 a.m. The idea behind this is to have the time to discuss the decision in one day, sleep on it, and then when he wakes up, he has the mental composure to make the deal without having to feel like he's rushing it in any way. It's very easy to feel pressure to make a financial decision on a specific time span. And the shorter that time span is, the easier it is for you to end up making a bad decision. This strategy will help you take your time and don't be caught up in the moment. As the saying goes, the early bird gets the worm. Number 3. Find opportunity in crisis. Although some might find this saying a bit insensitive, Jeff Bezos believes that there is an opportunity to be found in crisis if you wish to be ahead of the curve in terms of financial success. After all, Amazon withstood the test of time and even the pandemic. The way in which Bezos managed to use the pandemic to his advantage was by hiring more employees while hundreds of businesses were firing theirs. This gave people working opportunities, and at the same time, Bezos was able to expand his empire, since the pandemic heavily required home deliveries. You can take advantage of a crisis too if a good stock is on the low but you know the business and recognize it as a good stock. Maybe it's the best time to buy it. Number 4. The 4 key attributes of a dreamy business. In a letter to his shareholders in 2014, Jeff Bezos stated that the 4 characteristics of a dreamy business are: it has the customer's love. It can grow to a very large size. It has strong returns on capital. And it's durable in time with the potential to endure for decades. So, if any business that you're interested in has those 4 characteristics, you may have one of Jeff Bezos' dreamy businesses in your own hands. Number 5. Create more than you consume. Jeff Bezos believes that businessmen should create more than they consume, which is something that he emphasized in his last letter to his shareholders in 2021, as he is stepping down as the CEO of Amazon. He stated that the primary goal in a business should be to create value for everyone that you interact with, and the businesses that don't create value for those it touches, it doesn't last long, even if it appears to be successful temporarily. Examples of this advice can certainly be seen everywhere within Amazon, as the company is always launching something new even if some of those attempts are not successful. Their dedication in pushing their gaming division is one such example, since they kept trying for years despite not having a single hit game. Eventually this year, their game New World finally received almost 1 million players since its release. Number 6. Delight your customers and also be afraid of them. One thing very consistent in many of Jeff Bezos' pieces of advice is his insistence on pleasing the customer above all. He believes that companies should be customer-obsessed and that people should not only satisfy them but absolutely delight them. At another time, he said that Amazon should always be afraid of their customers since those are the folks who have the money. He insists that although competition is something to be careful about, our competitors are never going to send us money, and that's why the primary focus should be based on the customer's demands and not necessarily the competition, as many other businesses do. Number 7. Hold on to long-term investments. Another piece of advice that almost every successful businessman and investor has also comes from Jeff Bezos too. He believes that investors should believe in long-term investments and stick by them as they produce higher profits, which are not possible to gain on short-term investments. Although investing in too many different places seems appealing at times, the greatest successes always come from long-term investments that beautifully work out and gain the shareholders immense wealth. So, one should conduct proper research before investing and have the mindset of holding onto their shares for many years. Also, it's harder to keep track of all your investments if you keep changing your investment strategy. After all, there is truth to the "patience is bitter but bears a sweet fruit" saying. Number 8. Good business ideas have an element of risk. Jeff Bezos believes in trying new things. He says that if you have a business idea with no risk, it's probably already being done, which is certainly true since we have thousands of businesses doing the same in every single country alone. So businesses that sound risky are usually those that actually bring something new to the table. He further elaborated that you've got to have something that might not work. It will be in many cases an experiment. Although experiments fail, those that are successful leave a mark on history and make the highest financial gains. The only thing to keep in mind here is to not take a risk that could leave you bankrupt. Number 9. Work and life are separate entities. Jeff Bezos claims that "I get asked about work-life balance all the time, and my view is that's a debilitating phrase because it implies there's a strict trade-off." He said that work and life are two things that are and should be integrated, and that people should not see the two as a balance that needs to be achieved. Instead, it's a circle that goes around. So, your personal life and work should be seen as the same side of two coins, and neither of the two should overly interfere with the other. So yeah, Bezos believes that instead of the classic term work-life balance, the focus should be on maintaining a healthy continuity between the two. Number 10. Failure is important. Jeff Bezos believes that failure is very important for successful businessmen. He stated that, as a company grows, everything needs to scale, including the size of your failed experiments. If the size of your failures isn't growing, you're not going to be inventing at a size that can actually move the needle. And at a different time, Jeff Bezos also said that big failures are an important part of growing as a businessman, and that one should keep taking risks if they intend to grow their success. He referred to the failed Fire Phone as an example and said that the company did not let that go to waste and was able to learn from the experience, which eventually led to the successful launch of Alexa. So if you can afford to handle a loss, you should always try to take some risks, because those that fail will leave a dent in your wallet that will eventually fill up. However, those risks that end up being a success will completely change your life for the better, depending on the scale of what you tried. So, there you have it. What do you think about Jeff Bezos' financial strategies? Do you think any of them may work for you? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you again in our next video.
Superfinances.